You were listening to Honey, We Made a Disney Podcast. Two friends since first grade, now dads, reliving the Disney movies we grew up on with our own kids. I'm JB Wagner.
And I'm Eddie Ferguson. And on today's episode, we amplify the sequel of our namesake movie as we enlarge our review of Honey, I Blew Up the Baby. But first, JB, how are you and the family?
I'm doing great with all of these vibrant words to to engross us in today's episode.
Adjectives.
Yes. So many adjectives. I couldn't remember. My grammar was losing me for a second there. We had a good Thanksgiving weekend, whatever you want to call it, etc.
It's 2020. We really don't know days and weeks and all of that anymore.
Especially you who have been locked in your basement for a little bit. So
I wanted to play the Rebel fanfare music from A New Hope. You know, when Luke Skywalker and Han Solo received their awards, their medals from Princess Leia. I wanted to play that fanfare as I walked out of the house.
As you walked out of the house today, did you expect people to care? Were you upset that people didn't care as much as you did?
People did care. It was nice. I went back to the office and they were like,
I guess they did.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, we kept it low key here in Tennessee for the holidays. It was very fun. My wife cooked an amazing turkey, as she's been doing the past 3 years. If you want any tips on that, you should go talk to my wife about it. She would love to tell you her secrets about it. If she doesn't know you, she probably will not answer any of your home phone calls or attempts to try to get it. But if you do know her, you should check it out.
You call the Butterball hotline.
Call the Butterball hotline. Exactly. But yeah, it was just a low key kind of day for us. We did pancakes for Thanksgiving morning.
Special breakfast,
special dinner. It was really great. We were a little sad. Our tradition has been to go on Black Friday to hit up Target, just see what they got. We haven't really bought anything in a few years. We used to buy movies every year, and those have just been a little bit sad, especially now with all the streaming channels like the Disney Plus that we use all the time. So that was a little sad to not have just that experience. But honestly, the past couple of years have been really sad. I don't know if have you done much? Did you do much Black Friday shopping this year, Eddie?
So yeah, we just love the thrill of a Black Friday, you know. This year we were in quarantine, so I did online Black Friday shopping and I bought a DVD on Black Friday or Black Friday
did you buy
sales.
another Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken DVD?
No. I bought Elf.
I was just thinking about that today. Because we need that.
I can't find it. I can't find it on any of the streaming services that we have a subscription to. and that Christmas movies are like the ones like when you're in the mood for just that one Christmas movie, like you want to be able to just watch it.
But this is you went and bought Elf.
It was $6. It was $6.
That's a good buy
at Target. So I was like, Elf is like a solid Christmas movie. Like there's one time every Christmas season that I want to watch Elf. And so I'm just like, I'm going to get a DVD.
Well, that was definitely our case on Friday, I believe it was. We definitely popped in a little bit of Home Alone, the original.
That's what we watched too.
It's like we're living the same lives.
We were probably watching it at the same time.
Exact same time.
We could have done group watch.
We keep talking about group watch, and someday we are actually going to do a group watch.
So we tried group watch because I was quarantined in the basement. Sarah and the kids are upstairs.
How did that go?
So we're like, we'll watch the new Mickey Mouse, The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, though upstairs. It was disastrous. It didn't work well. I couldn't get it up on the big screen, so that wasn't working. It kept glitching and freezing, and I don't know if that's because we were on the same internet. We were having some internet problems at the time too. So I was like, This is crazy.
That's really sad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's been so many disappointing things for you in the past couple weeks, except for your models. Except for your models somewhere.
I finished my X-Wing. I
Nice.
realized I didn't do any of the stickers. I was like, oh, I got to do the stickers. So I got all the stickers done. So,
but yeah, the highlight though, the best part of probably one of the best parts of the entire vacation time, holidays time, this first beginning holidays, beyond just doing decorating some of the house. We aren't doing a tree this year because we're going to be gone over the Christmas time itself.
what?
We're going to be gone.
Tree?
So, and we live in a small place. We live in a really small place. It's hard to find room to put a tree up. But besides decorating for Christmas and doing all the other things, the best part of the entire few days that I had off from work just happened to be last night. We were very sad because our Colts played a horrible game. They lost badly. There might have been a number of reasons, but let's just say they lost badly. And we found ourselves with an extra little bit of chunk of change at the end of the month that we had saved up. And we're like, we're going to throw this into something responsible. But we were feeling so bad that we decided, you know what? Let's go to the brand new Chili's in town. And then my wife had the great idea. She's like, you know what? I bet you my mom would watch the kids. And that's what we did to end our Thanksgiving time together. Was we went to Chili's, got some appetizers, got some beverages, and no kids, just ate in peace.
I'll tell you, the bottomless chips and salsa from Chili's with those paper thin chips.
That's what we had.
With beverage of choice, but something sweet. Like, let's get some sugar in us.
There was definitely some sugar in there. It was
like nice. I love, they have like their bottomless like strawberry kiwi lemonade or whatever.
That sounds good.
We would do that a ton in college. And that's all we would get is just like one order bottomless chips and salsa, and everybody'd get like a unlimited refill. It's so many good memories. The second you said Chili's, I was like, yes. Just give me those baby back.
Baby back. Well, baby back is not the reason that we are here today. I think it's about time that we turn the ship towards, aim the guns towards this big, magnificent movie that we are here to talk about today, which is Honey, I Blew Up the Baby.
Cue the Disney-ish sound effect.
Eddie, I got a special treat for you. I've been reading these IMDb descriptions, and I've been trying to use my trailer movie voice. There's another trailer movie voice that I think would fit this a little bit better for this IMDb. So I'm gonna try it. Let's see if it works. Okay. Reading the IMDb description for Honey, I Blew Up the Baby. The Zelensky family is back. This time, hilarious disaster strikes when an unexpected experiment causes their new toddler son to grow many stories tall. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of it. Just hit me.
That's wonderful.
Well, thank you. Let me take a bow.
How long did you work on that?
I didn't. I heard it in my voice. I literally put wacky voice. You can see it right there.
I can see it in the show
voice.
Notes.
The moment it said the Zelensky family is back this time, hilarious. I was just like, this has
Zelensky.
Yeah, I just knew that I had to do a little bit different. I couldn't do the normal. The Zelensky family is back.
I need to send you, if I can find it. It's on YouTube. There's this clip of like the four main trailer announcers, like the guy who does the horror movies, the guy who does the animated, the guy who does the action. Like they all get in a limo together and ride to some Hollywood event. And the whole bit is them talking to each other in their announcer voices.
No, stop. We all need that.
Yes. And there is apparently this was back when like trailer voices were huge. But there was the wacky animated trailer voice guy. Like that's what he did. He did the animated movies. So as soon as you were doing that, that's all I could think of is flashing back to that. The Zelensky family, just the name of their family alone just kind of evokes that. So this was a sequel.
Is this our first sequel that we've hit?
I believe so.
Our first sequel. So. This run we're doing.
So I don't remember this movie really hardly at all.
Interesting.
Like, there was a few moments where I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember that. But for the most part, I didn't remember it mostly.
The tables have turned, Eddie.
Did you remember this one a lot?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I didn't remember the majority of it. I remembered moments like the baby watching the workout, the Richard Simmons workout video. Obviously, Las Vegas, him grabbing the guitar. I remember him breaking out or like pushing on the edges of the boxcar as it's going down the road. Those kind of crazy moments were the ones that I remembered most. But it's funny watching this again because it did all the things that we make fun of sequels for doing. It took whatever the initial idea was, and it adds more espionage, more craziness, more traveling to other places, spectacles, spotlights. It literally did. It hit all the notes of the things that we make fun of sequels for.
Just turn it up.
It's not even a turn. It's just like, what are all the things that we can throw into this to make it crazy? The only thing that wasn't in this movie was a heist. There wasn't a heist in this movie.
There kind of was, though. They break into the lab.
I spoke.
You spoke.
See, this is the problem, Eddie. I'm trying to remember specifically because I may have watched this about a month ago because we had watched the first one and my son loved it. And so I've got all my notes here and stuff, but I'd forgotten about that. So I spoke too soon. It literally hit every single
It hits everything.
Note
it hits
possible.
everything.
There's a love story in there. It's got everything. It's got everything you can want and too much of what you want.
Speaking of the love story, this was the film debut of Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell.
Felicity herself.
Her breakout moment, her stardom as the babysitter. A
sassy babysitter.
It's a sassy babysitter. She is a woman of the world. She's got her plan. She's got her rates ready to go. She doesn't take no for an answer.
Not going to change a dirty diaper.
Oh, and she also gets kidnapped. I can't even say it without laughing. Like,
by the baby.
She gets kidnapped by the grown, like the boys and the husband and
Wayne.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, this is like illegal. You can't kidnap a high schooler or middle schooler or whatever she is right now.
You know, one of the things that just I kept a tally because it happened to her, it happened to the mom, and it happened to the neighbor lady.
What happened?
Do you recall, like, one thing happens to all three ladies, the babysitter, the mom, and the neighbor lady?
No.
They pass out when they see the baby. Like, it happens to the mom first, and you're like, really? You know, like, is that really everybody's just immediate? And then it happens to the babysitter, and then it happens to the neighbor lady. The neighbor lady passes out into the pool. But I was just left wondering, what is it about giant babies that just apparently make women pass out?
Something that would definitely be changed if this was remade in 2020.
Right.
For later. The fact that they bring in the U.S. Marshals is just like takes it.
The Marshal is my favorite character in this whole bit.
Tell me about it. What did you love about this?
Especially at the end when he's like, I can burn rubber in this thing.
Then an ice cream,
like
the ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's just got a couple of lines right in there where you're like, would a U.S. Marshal really be this into this? And then the over the top, is he the villain? I don't know.
He's a villain.
The doctor who's taken over this project, but he's really has no bearing on the story. Like if you were to remove his character completely from editing, the storyline wouldn't change at all.
That's funny.
If you think about it, like has no consequence on the story itself.
I hadn't thought about that. Is this kind of like the Indiana Jones theory where you take Indiana Jones out of Indiana Jones, the first one, and he's not, and it's inconsequential?
I've never heard this.
You need to go down that Reddit rabbit trail. Go down it. He's inconsequential.
I don't touch Reddit. I know how dangerous Reddit would be for me.
You have good self-awareness.
Yes.
For yourself.
So I stay away from Reddit because I know I would just like
you stay to YouTube.
is already dangerous enough.
YouTube is already dangerous enough. And,
it's bad. It's bad. Yes. So, but yeah, you look at if you take him out, he would have no bearing on the story. Though one of my favorite scenes in this is the two lab assistants. Let's just call them the lab assistants because I don't know who they are. Where they have this grainy photo of the bunny and the kid's eye, and they're trying to figure it out, and they're typing away at their computer, and it refines just a little bit. Oh, there's 3 eyes, and they can't really find it. What is it? And I mean, there's a solid 5 minutes of the movie, maybe 3, of them trying to figure out what was this that was in the lab. And then that evil doctor character just like comes over. And he's like, click, click, and boom, we get like a perfect image. You're like, seriously?
We can't go too much farther without talking about the van. I just want to talk about the van. I just want to geek about the van. If there's
it's an Astro van.
It's an it's an Astro van. Ed must be so happy right now. Your dad must be so happy that it's an Astro van.
My dad is turning a 1999 Astro van into his adventure van.
Adventure van. It is not a sleeping van. It's an adventure van.
Well, my favorite is the solar panels that try to, rotate and move. And then when he's late to the office, his line is, "Sorry, I'm late. There was an unexpected cumulus cloud that got in my way."
That van, if there's one item in this thing that obviously we all think of the shrink of the shrink ray. Sure. That's the definitely the standout feature of the first movie, and it comes back. It's been upgraded in the second, or they have a new upgraded version, and they bring back the old one. But man, that van that brought back some good memories to me. Watching that thing drive down the road, and it's
well,
amazing.
And the whole house. They did even more with the house this time, right? He's got the trash can that's going around, the little robot that's and something about like the kids' playpen.
The playpen. The playpen was the other one that I want to talk about because it weirdly looked amazing as a little. I remember being amazed by it as a little kid of this like cool little thing, but it's a jail. It's a jail. It's a
habitat.
It's a
for an animal. Yes, it's like the one and only Ivan. A gorilla cage.
Also, how is this baby that smart? It can get out of it over and over and over again. It makes no sense.
Is it how smart the baby is, or how dumb the dad is? Yeah.
Speaking of dumb, how does he not see the baby going up onto the spot where the laser's going to hit? Seriously? How dumb can you be?
So the baby is not really a baby. It's like 2 years old, right? So technically toddler. I have a I have a 2-year-old. Like, it is ingrained in us, right? he will get out of anything he's not buckled into.
Yep.
Like he's just at that age. So I mean, if he's not buckled in, like we are high alert.
Yep. Now, Eddie, they may call us helicopter parents, but
I am not a helicopter parent.
I do not think that being more aware of your child in the surroundings you're in a place that has a ton of things that could get hurt on. A ton of things, let alone a giant shrinker enlarging ray.
Right.
Is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, and that you're doing this experiment with your, sophomore, 16-year-old kid or whatever. And, let's just break a Coke bottle and use the bottom of that. That's what's going to fix all of this. Just so wonderful. So the van, there's that wonderful scene of the van going into the warehouse so that they can pick up the old shrink ray.
The heist.
The heist. Did you see the big movie prop cameo in that scene?
What was it?
So as they're going through the different crates, looking for the shrink ray.
I missed it.
They had the Rosebud sled from Citizen Kane.
Oh.
Which apparently makes cameos in tons of movies. Like that's a pretty common thing.
Well, it did have the feel of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they kind of pull out after they put everything. So this is them coming back in. But you're right. The Rosebud was the other.
Yeah, they open one and he's like, nope, it's not in here. And it was the Rosebud sled.
Oh. That's a good eye. Did you know it was there? Did you pre-know and you just saw it? Okay.
I'm observant.
You're observant. I am sometimes. I am more observant with my children when they are playing around science stuff that could hurt them for a long time.
I love some of the dad lines in this. Like Wayne's got some stellar dad lines in this movie. One I will hold for later when we get to our dad tips.
Okay.
But one of my favorites is when they first get him home and he, enlarges for the first time. And, Wayne and the son are like, trying to figure, what are we going to do? Whatever. He just has this wonderful line of like, I do know one thing. We got to figure out how to fix this before your mother gets home. And then turn and she's standing in the driveway and they just back out of the driveway and go around the other direction.
Yes.
And then the mom has a really funny line towards the end where she says, babies know one thing. Daddies mean fun, but mommies mean business.
Mwah, mwah.
So she's the one that gets, blown up and enlarged.
There's just so many funny or just random scenarios in this, just random things that just happen. It like everything we've been talking about, from the baby watching the workout video to the rabbit. It was fun watching kind of the rabbit change as it get bigger as it goes along, from the microwave to all the way to the end. And they forget the rabbit at the very end too, don't they? They just kind of leave it. It's just like massive.
Yes. They're like, what are we going to do with this massive rabbit? And that was just kind of the ending line with it. I love the ending where they've accidentally shrunk the son and the babysitter in the car down. And he's like, I've got just the equipment for this. Honey, get my helmet and magnifying glass. Great recalls to the original movie, I think, yes. with not just that, but kind of other moments.
So how do you compare the two movies?
So oddly enough, I feel like I liked and enjoyed this one better.
Do tell, pray tell.
It just felt like it knew what it was and just rode that out. Like I appreciated the tertiary characters just on the sidelines, just like the marshal. Like even though he was inconsequential, I liked the evil doctor. They're just kind of like throwing in all of these. The Mr. Sterling, like the owner of the lab or whatever, just like shows up at the end and he's like, well, let me do this calculation. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like, where's he coming from? Just kind of adding extra flavors into it. I just felt like it was I don't know, it was more of a ride. I think the original one's just so straightforward in its concept, is kind of a honed in cast. I just enjoyed the extra flavor here.
See, that's what I enjoyed about the original, because it didn't overshadow even like the personal moments of like really being afraid for these kids, the family, the parents really searching for them, that bringing them back together. Those kind of heartfelt moments. We didn't have that hanging together as they're sitting there waiting, and like we need to bring them all back together. This was more of just chaos. And what would happen if we blew up a baby? Oh, well, then this would happen. He'd run through the wall here, and he'd go through a backyard, and he would do this, and he would do that, and he would go to Las Vegas and climb all the signs and stuff like that. Although I did appreciate they did some really good job on quite a bit of the forced perspective.
Oh yeah,
stuff that was like, wow, with 1992's technology, it's actually pretty good. Like comparatively of what they would do now. Like there wasn't a ton to like gripe about. But
so it was funny. I was looking and trying to kind of look at the production because I thought the same thing. Like, wow, this is actually pretty good. Not even just for 1992, just kind of like in general. And I've always been interested in, again, model making, like how they use models for forced perspective, like how do you fake some of this in camera and stuff like that. And again, that led me down a rabbit trail. As you know, I can get caught into those, and found out that this movie actually was originally developed to have nothing to do with Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. That this was, I can't remember who the writer was, but he just thought apparently he's a big fan of like Japanese kaiju movies like Godzilla.
Yeah.
And just thought, how funny would it be if we made like a comedy kaiju movie, but it was a baby. And so he just wrote this like kaiju movie of a large baby in Las Vegas. And the script just was kind of working its way through Hollywood in development. And when Disney bought it, they were like, actually, let's combine the two things, and we'll turn it into a kind of the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise. And that's why the daughter just goes off to college at the beginning, because they didn't have her in that original storyline. There was no, character to insert her into. And so that's just kind of, all right, we'll send her off to college at the beginning.
That is funny that they send her off and then we
Nothing.
never see her again. There's a whole big moment of her mom taking taking her to the airport, and I guess that sets up where the dad has to take care of it.
Yep.
Of him, whatever. It's not an it. It's a him.
It's a him.
But yeah, you're right. She's kind of gone. I literally forgot about her. I've completely forgot about her as a character. Oh, she's gone. Okay, and she was a pivotal part of that first one.
Oh yeah, she was huge. She was kind of almost the main character.
Did you miss the neighbors? The neighbors from the first one, since they've now moved to Vegas.
No, because I enjoyed the like random two ladies who are always standing outside of their house eavesdropping. Like, why are they always just standing outside of their house?
That's their job, Eddie.
That's their job.
They got to take care of the neighborhood, and the Zelenskys are a threat.
Well, and
these Karens need to be careful. They need to watch over them.
1990s Karens.
1990s Karens.
But there's like the one scene where, he's getting larger. It's when he's working out to the Simmons, and they like look out to the neighborhood again, and there's like 50 neighbors
just all watching,
all just gathered
house.
in their, I'm like, there's no way that's what they would do. Yeah, neighbors were like, I don't care. It's in their house. They can do whatever they want. Oh, goodness gracious. But it is fun. Like, I enjoy, like, from the very beginning, the second you see the big Hard Rock Cafe guitar that he's been getting his brother's guitar, like, okay, there's going to be a big moment when he goes after the guitar, all of that. It's fun. It's just kind of like makes it into just a lighthearted, fun family film.
So the moment everyone's waiting for, how many fruit snacks are you going to give this film?
I'm going to say 3 fruit snacks. Just down the middle.
Just straight down the middle, even though you like this better than the first one?
Yeah, I should probably go back and see what I gave the first one.
I'm pretty sure I gave the first one 5. I think you gave it a 4, so I don't know.
So I'll give this one a 4. I'll match it.
You're going to match it? I was going to give it about a 3.5. I'll give it a 3.5. It was a fun time. Turn your brain off. Watch dumb things happen. I'm invested in these characters because I love them from the first one. A little Kerry Russell magic in there. I give it a 3.5. I'll give it a 3.5.
Oh, just throw another half in there.
I'm gonna save that one. I've already eaten that one half, so bit it off. So
off.
We're gonna keep that.
If they were to remake this, which they are actually talking about remaking the franchise, how would this be different? You wouldn't have as many women passing out.
Less women passing out. That's for sure. It's interesting because I don't know how much, other than CGI stuff and taking it to another level. I think when we talked about the first one, talked about how much fun it would be to see them redo the Bumblebee scene with the new technology and stuff like that.
I think there'd be more destruction,
There'd be a lot more destruction. There'd be some towers being destroyed.
An explosion. There'd be an explosion. There was no fire or explosion.
I honestly don't know. This felt like not a modern day because obviously the dialogue would be way different. There'd be more self-awareness, I think, from stuff, less cheesy lines. But honestly, some of the set pieces, like this is probably what they would do today too. They would have the baby walk through the side wall. The parents outside, the nosy neighbors, they would still have going to someplace like Las Vegas. I honestly don't know how much of this they would have changed, really, to me. I
don't know.
Other than maybe his intent to create the expanding ray would be have some. I bet you would have some ecological or this is gonna help fight global warming. I think would definitely be a part of it somehow engrossed in it. And so the evil guy would be just out for money and capitalism. So I know that would be a big change that they would have if this was redone in 2020.
So I just did a quick look at the remake it's not a remake, it's a 4th installment. Shrunk. I didn't know it was written by Josh Gad and will star Josh Gad alongside of Rick Moranis.
Whoa. I think, is this what they're saying, that he's older now? It's like the son is older now?
Yeah, the son is going to be kind of the main character of it.
That's good. He's instant heart connection.
Oh, I love Josh Gad. Yeah.
He's a star. I think he's got a bright future. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
He's surpassed us. And Joe Johnston's coming back to direct it. So
awesome.
That's really cool. He did not direct 2 or 3.
Okay. But they're trying to rekindle some of the magic that they got from the first one.
Yeah.
If the mom didn't go to the airport for 2 seconds, we obviously know that the baby doesn't get expanded, but does the bottle cap thingy work?
I don't think Nick would have gone to the lab with them, and so he never would have figured it out.
He'd still be sitting there. Probably would have gotten fired.
He's working for that evil doctor dude.
He's working for the evil doctor dude. He's probably getting fired or sent off, reassigned somewhere, and he's still waiting to get his magic. So maybe it was good.
Maybe
that the mother left.
Did you watch this with your kids?
Yes. My son was totally into it.
Yeah.
He wanted to watch the big baby, I think is what he called it.
Big baby.
Mm-hmm.
No, my son was glued the whole time, just like, what is this? What is going on?
What is this?
And I couldn't help but like, yeah, if he was a giant, like that would be terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not just like, oh my kid, but no, like he would destroy Indianapolis. He's so, constantly moving and climbing and moving all over this.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as he's watching it, he's like interacting with.
He's also destroying your own house.
Yeah,
I get it.
So I know I have my dad tip ready to go here.
Then go for it. Then lead us with the first.
But I want to give. I don't want to step on.
What you're really saying is you got such a good one that you want to let me get mine out of the way so you can like close this episode up with a great tip is what you're really saying.
So I have to preface this with saying I have not arrived at this conversation with my son yet, though I know that day will come. Right? Every dad has to have this conversation with his son. Though, unfortunately, in my line of work, I've had to have this conversation with a few guys who their dads neglected to have that with them. So I've had to have this awkward conversation. But by far the most awkward I've ever seen, and I think you know where I'm going at. Like probably my favorite moment in this whole movie was when it's the mom's just gone off to the airport with the daughter. And they're like sitting down and the dad just like out of the blue, like over cereal is like, well, I guess this will give us guys some talk about, the birds and the bees. And like, boom, just like, let's just dive straight into this conversation. And you see the son's just like, really, Dad? No, do we have to have that? No, this is perfect. This will be great timing for that. So my dad tip is like, no, don't come into that conversation hard and fast. Ease into it.
And also get yourself a shaving robot, or maybe not a shaving robot on there. If I had a dad tip, I mean, I think our general one for the last one is be more self-aware. I think that was the tip for the first one, is being a more self-aware person. You could probably double down on that. But I'm going to give a dad tip about this is buy a normal vehicle. That's my first tip.
Pay cash for it.
Pay cash for it. I'm contractually obligated to say pay cash for your vehicles. I don't know that I have very many dad tips for this, because it's just one of those crazy movies that's like, don't blow your baby up. Don't take it to Las Vegas.
Don't blow your baby
Don't
up.
let your wife ever go to the airport because you're not man enough to handle your own children.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have very many great tips. I think you were right. I think you ended it on a good note of like, handle the talk gracefully with your child.
I just feel for this son and Nick so many times, because he's like trying to have the conversation with the girl, talking to her, outside of the water park, and dad comes rolling up in the van or whatever, and you're just like,
oh no.
I think we've all been there, when we're trying to be the smooth, cool guy with the girl that we're interested in, and somebody just like totally ruins it for us.
There's definitely some shades of Onward in that moment. Shades of the anime movie Onward. Here's a dad tip. Kidnapping, that's a crime, and don't do it.
Yes.
Don't kidnap young girls, especially. That's probably a bad move. So that's my dad tip for you.
Well, what question should we ask this week? I was kind of wondering.
If there's one item, not person, but one item in your house that you could enlarge, what would it be? Would it be your big screen TV? Would it be your car? Would you enlarge your house in general? Would you enlarge your fridge? Or
you know what?
Or is there another one?
Well, you know what I would enlarge? I would enlarge my model of the Resistance X-Wing fighter so that I could fly it.
Yes,
around.
a toys. Would you Star Wars action figures / models / toys?
Yes.
Would you enlarge a toy? Those are going to be our options for this episode.
And where can people answer that question?
Oh, you should definitely go to honeywemade.com/listener, where we've got all the questions, all the poll questions from all of our 12 episodes. Eddie, we have done 12 of these episodes so
Full
far.
Full
dozen on marching our way very slowly through the ages, through all the best decade, the Disney decade, which is the 90s, a little bit of the 80s, a little bit of the 2000s, but
and while you're on there, you can check out our movie list, and you will see that next week's episode we will cover one of my childhood favorite movies that was on repeat in our house, The Mighty Ducks.
This is going to be
fun.
An epic one. Do we get to do all 3 of the Mighty Ducks?
Yeah.
Is that on our list? Is to do
all 3?
It's the beginning of a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
A trilogy. It's going to be interesting to see us grow, like our children grow, because it's going to take us a long time to physically do all of these things. But if you haven't already, please go wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe. Go to our website, check out the movies, check out take the poll question, send us a note if you would. We would love to hear from you. Tell
your friends about us. Listen to 2 friends with another one of your friends. So that's 2 friends listening to 2 friends. It's all great.
Yes, but unfortunately, this is the end of this episode because I gotta go. I gotta go to Las Vegas to retrieve my baby.
I'm starting to wrap Christmas gifts. Tis the season, so I'm beginning that process.
Nice. Yours sounds more legit than mine. Thanks for listening.